Quote, unless you fuck up and do something stupid, you're number one on the short list for a shot at the job you've always wanted. You and guys like you are the fathers of this new government, end quote. This is a direct quote from former CIA Director William Casey to young Bill Clinton. Have you ever wondered how this young unknown hillbilly from Arkansas became president of the United States? Former Attorney General Bill Barr, who previously worked for the CIA, once said, quote, Arkansas was the CIA's greatest asset during the 70s and 80s, end quote. Now, why would that be? So Bill Clinton grew up in a place called Hot Springs, Arkansas, which Roger Morris called, quote, the Geneva of organized crime during the 1920s and 30s, because I guess it was neutral territory at the time for mob bosses and gangsters to meet. So how Bill Clinton get connected with organized crime? Well, his father figure or role model was his uncle Raymond, who was allegedly connected with organized crime according to FBI reports. Now, a lot of weird things happened with Bill. Bill got a Rhodes Scholarship, which is very sketchy because that's like basically a Rothschild scholarship. He was able to dodge the Vietnam draft and became Arkansas Attorney General by 1978. And here's where it gets even weirder. So a former CIA officer told Roger Morris and Sally Dent that he had seen Clinton's name on a list of informants used by the CIA's Operation Chaos. Remember that with Charles Manson and the MK Ultra stuff? Allegedly, Clinton was often debriefed by the CIA, who he supplied with information concerning activist groups on British campuses to basically rat them out their anti-Vietnam War. Now, in the 1980s, Arkansas turned into an absolute playground for the CIA. Planes were buzzing in and out of Mena, Arkansas, this tiny little innocent town allegedly loaded with drugs and weapons on planes for shady operations tied to the Iran-Contra affair. You ever hear of Barry Seal? Well, Clinton's driver, L.D. Brown, says Bill Clinton edited his CIA application about drug smuggling, and then the CIA paired Brown with Barry Seal. Meanwhile, just 10 miles away from Mena, Arkansas, secret bases were training Latin American rebels for undercover missions. And meanwhile, Bill Clinton's brother, Roger Clinton, was best friends with this guy named Dan Laster, who was a bond broker by day and cocaine-loving money launderer by night. But it gets even crazier. One of Seal's planes, the same one that hauled cocaine, ended up on a secret mission to drop weapons to the rebels in Nicaragua. Then boom, it gets shot down. All right, so let's break this down. So on October 5th, 1986, that plane, a C-123K, crashed in Nicaragua's jungle after Sandinista forces took it out. So it was carrying rifles and ammo for the Contras, but it wasn't just hardware, it was loaded with secrets. And the lone survivor, Eugene Hasenfuss, gets nabbed and just totally spills the beans. So what was going on is the U.S. was secretly funding these rebels by selling arms to Iran. Meanwhile, back in Mena, Arkansas, people start whispering that CIA was using Barry Seal's drug flights to bankroll this whole mess. And here's the craziest part. Even after Seal got taken out in 1986, gunned down, probably by the cartel or the CIA because he was messing around with both, the mystery doesn't stop. Planes kept buzzing around Mena. And some say the CIA's dirty games never quit. Probably didn't. And the full story? Totally classified. Leaving us wondering just how deep does this rabbit hole even go? So get this. 9 separate state and federal investigations into this thing were shut down. According to the Wall Street Journal, former IRS investigator William Duncan and Arkansas State Police investigator Russell Welch spent over a decade trying to expose the truth. And despite their efforts, every single one of the 9 official probes was brought to an end. A 1992 memo from Duncan to the Attorney General's office revealed that he had been ordered to, quote, remove all files concerning the Mena investigation from the Attorney General's office, end quote. And who was the Attorney General at this time? Well, the Attorney General at this time, under President George H.W. Bush, was none other than Bill Barr, the guy from the beginning of this story, former CIA. And of course, Barr was previously a CIA officer, like we said before, and connected with the law firm Shaw, Pittman, Potts, and Tombridge, who's also connected to the CIA. Another weird fun fact is that why the hell did Trump appoint Bill Barr his second Attorney General in 2018? And then just by coincidence, right after that, that's when Epstein, his whole situation happens in the jail where he gets suicided. Very, very weird. But hey guys, on a serious note, if you like this story, if you want to know more about it, all credit goes to Whitney Webb for putting this information together, and I am doing a deep dive on Whitney Webb's books, One Nation Under Blackmail, Volume 1 and Volume 2. in my special community on the Minnect app, on circles within the Minnect app called the Forbidden Book Society. So if you want a much deeper, thorough dive on this, I'm trying to give people the ability to know what is in the book without having to spend hours and days and weeks and months reading it. So here's the deal. This was the tip of the iceberg. I'm giving you the iceberg in the Forbidden Book Society on Minnect, on Circles. So download the Minnect app, click on the button that says Circles, go to the groups, and you will see the group that says the Forbidden Book Society. See my face on it. We got 22 super smart, super cool people in there. We're just tearing through this thing. Everybody's looking through different angles. We're breaking this thing down. So if you want to know a whole lot more about where this came from, that is the place that you want to be. So click on the link below, the Forbidden Book Society. Much love. I'll see you there.